So, welcome everyone for our cybersecurity professionals interview with Benjamin Mosse, who's the CEO of Mosse Security from Melbourne, Australia. So, as you know, Vice's Windsor is also known as Cyberlancers, and this is our stats for the 2019-2020 academic year. We recruited more than 110 Cyberlancers in Windsor, Ontario, and most of them are university students. And we hosted 15 successful events throughout the year. And we have more than 300 LinkedIn connections around the world who are cybersecurity professionals too. And we received 2 awards this year. And the first one is the Top Academic Group in Canada, and the recent one, Vice's Student Chapter of the Year in North America. And we recently partnered with Mosse Cybersecurity Institute, who will be providing us a learning platform to teach cyber education to our students. And about Benjamin Mosse, he is the CEO of Mosse Security. His mission is to train 1 million top-notch cybersecurity professionals with the skills ready for the cyber industry. So as I said, he will be providing us 2 platforms. The first one is the remote internship, also known as MRI remote internship, that would teach skills to our students that can be applied in the industry. And the second one is the Vetted Cyber Talent platform, where students can register themselves to look for a job within the cyber industry. And now Benjamin Mosse will introduce the learning platform and the VCT freelancing.
Well, thank you very much for this introduction. Let me begin by thanking you all for your time today. It's really a pleasure to be on this webcast together with you and to connect, all over the world with our students and to hear about all the good things that you've been doing in your neck of the wood, as we say here in Australia. And so thank you so much. I don't like to take myself too seriously, so I'd like, this session to be fun and interactive. I know that, I have a very big mission, but at the same time, I'm kind of a light-hearted kind of person. So let me share my screen and explain a little bit what the platform is about, why we created it, and hopefully it will become a tool that can help many of you. So, is my screen showing up for everybody?
Yes.
Perfect. Okay. So this is our institute website, and if you want to register on the platform after you've seen today's demonstration, you just click on online platform, and there's a registration form. You can register for free, and you get access to 65 exercises. And when you log in, the dashboard looks like this. You see that you're just a normal student initially, and we have exercises across the entire platform around that cover 15 areas of cybersecurity. And actually, we're going to add one more today or tomorrow. And so as you complete exercises, there's gamification throughout the platform. You earn points, you earn badges, you unlock titles, you have green bars that go up, and so on and so forth. And as you'll be doing exercises, you're going to be building what we call an online portfolio. And so let me show you one of my team members, Vivek. This is his portfolio. Now, Vivek's very lucky because since he works with us, he has access to all the exercises in the platform. So he could do a lot, as you can see. And so this is how a portfolio that's fairly developed looks like. As you can see, he's been progressing towards learning the OSCP. He's also done some digital forensics, some blue teaming stuff. He's getting started in reverse engineering at the moment. He's done quite a lot of red teaming and so on and so forth. And so these are kind of his scores. This is how an online portfolio looks like. And this becomes very important because you're going to see that our exercises are 100% practical. And so it's not possible, as you're going to see, to actually cheat your way through earning points with our system. And so as you develop your portfolio, now you will have a track record that you can share with the recruiters or prospective employers to actually show them the skills you have and maybe make your profile stand out compared to other candidates. And so let me show you exactly what I mean by a very practical exercise. And I'm going to pick probably one of the simplest exercises that we have in the platform to get started. This is an exercise called Write a Simple Risk Matrix. It's a governance, risk, and compliance exercise. It's worth 1 point. And we say that roughly, this is a rough estimate, we say that if a novice does this exercise for the very first time, it will probably take them 1 to 6 hours to do it. And you see, this is the exercise. And the first thing that probably stands out to most of you is that there are no slides, there are no videos, there are no hints, and you can't get the answers. All of our exercises are designed to simulate a real problem statement in the field. And if you worked in cybersecurity, chances are at some point in your career, you will have to write a risk matrix. It's a very common document that you should really learn as early as you can in your career. And so when we say that we simulate a work environment, this is what we mean by that. Imagine that you're sitting, in my team at the office, and you're the new grad that we've hired, and I said to you, go write a risk matrix. And what I would give you is I would give you a number of specifications or instructions. I would say, okay, it needs to have 2 parameters, severity and likelihood. It needs to have different risk levels. I want you to use different colors. So for something that's high risk, I want you to use the red color, for example. I want you to explain to me in a table what the risk means. What does high means? What does medium means? And so we have all these specifications, and it would be up to you in the field to go on Google, do some research, find out what is a risk matrix, what is Benjamin asking me about here, and to find some examples, to look for PDF files that show you what a risk matrix looks like. And once you've got one, you submit it by uploading the document, and it comes to our team in Melbourne, and we have 5 instructors. And every day when we get into the office, the first thing that we do is we review student submissions. And we're actually going to open your risk matrix. We're going to look at the document. And the first thing we're going to ask ourselves is, have you actually done all the instructions that we've given you? That's step number 1. Number 2, we're going to look at how professional your document is. Would it be a document that would actually work in the field? And if you meet these 2 requirements, then we give you a pass. And you can just move on to the next exercise. If you haven't quite succeeded the first time, what we do is we fail the submission, but we actually type feedback. So we will give you hints that are personalized to help you actually succeed at this exercise and actually learn what we want to teach you. One thing that I would say is that for some of the exercises, we ask that students take a screenshot of a website where when you copy your submission into it, it can check that you haven't plagiarized any content. So, we don't want students to actually just be able to copy paste stuff from the internet and succeed that way. And so this is a very simple exercise. It's a research-based exercise, but we also have a lot of technical exercises. We've got exercises to help you learn security tools. We've got exercises for red teaming. It's probably some of the hardest exercises in the platform, red teaming, to teach you pen testing, cyber defense. And some of them actually require you to write code like you would in the field. So let me pick this one as an example. This is a red team exercise. It's also a novice exercise. It's probably more difficult given that it's in the red team category of cybersecurity. And here you have to write a reverse shell. And if you worked in red teaming, chances are you'd be writing reverse shells pretty regularly. And here in this case, you actually have to write software that meets all the specifications on the screen. And then you have to upload your code. And what we ask for is we ask for a YouTube recording of your screen for up to 3 minutes where you show us your code working. And again, if you succeed, you get a pass. If you don't quite succeed, we give you feedback on how to improve. Right. So this is the platform in a nutshell, but let me show you how this becomes really cool for students that want to enter the industry. Number one is you can create teams and you can do exercises as a team. So that's really good if you want to stay motivated, if you want to meet new people and socialize, and so on and so forth. We also have a Hall of Fame that, if you, at this point, the minimum number of points you need to reach the Hall of Fame is 25 points. And if you did that, then you'd have another thing that you could show prospective employers. And what we have is we also have a freelancing platform and a recruitment platform. And so this platform here, Vetted Cyber Talent, is actually connected with the training platform I've just showed you. And one of the things that you can do is you can apply to work as a freelancer. We have a series of exercises and challenges you need to complete before being approved. And once you do, you are basically approved for a lifetime. And so this may not be your primary source of income, but it can be a secondary or third source of income where you can work from anywhere in the world. You can work flexible hours. You get to pick your projects and your clients. And so this is Vetted Cyber Talent. And what we have at the moment is we've started connecting companies that are looking to hire freelancers. And the next step that's coming out soon is we're also going to connect recruiters with this platform. So as you progress within the training platform, now employers are going to be able to see you within the freelancing and recruitment platform and maybe approach you for a job or approach you for a paid engagement. Now, we've talked about the free version, but I also want to show you the remote internship version. If I can remember which tab I left it in. 1 second. This is the threat intel. I can't remember where I have it. I have so many little tabs I had prepared ahead of this call. But it's not a big deal. Let me show you something maybe a little bit more sophisticated. So one of the things that our institute also offers is beyond the free version, you also have a whole bunch of certifications. And right now we offer 9 online certifications, and we are on a roadmap to create 15 to 20 sometime this year. So there are many more that are coming out soon. And I want to show you something more sophisticated for some of you that are probably more advanced in cybersecurity. This is our threat intel certification, and it's one that I highly recommend once you've mastered the basics of cybersecurity, right? Because this certification really connects the dots when it comes to having skills that are financially rewarded very highly today in the industry, that are also really fun skill. Working in threat intel is very exciting in 2020. And so this course teaches things like a little bit of reverse engineering, a little bit of memory forensics, and then we go into things like performing situational awareness. So you're given an organization, and we teach you how to hunt for people who do things like phishing and spear phishing campaigns against this organization. We teach you how to do enterprise-wide investigations to find machines that have been compromised by adversaries that have defeated security products that this company may have. We teach you something called pivot analysis, which is that once you've found one compromised machine or one adversary infrastructure, how to find all the websites they have, how to find all the C2 servers they're using pivot analysis. And this goes on and on. We even cover topics like offensive countermeasures and hacking back. And then we have even attribution exercises as to, once you've seen enough attack campaigns being done against the client, how can you actually go about attributing the code of the adversary or even attributing the campaigns to a particular adversary. And we've got some really challenging case studies and exercises. And so far what I've showed you was sort of simple, beginner stuff, but we also have proficient exercises. And let me just show you one. For example, this is an exercise where we give you 1,000 malware samples that we have identified in New Zealand. They've actually been used against New Zealand customers, and you can just download them And what we ask you to do is to actually do a meta-analysis of the kind of attacks that a country like New Zealand is facing. So, you have all the malware samples, and now it's up to you to reverse engineer them, use some automation, and, basically propose a report and an analysis that explains the kind of attacks that a country like New Zealand would be facing today. So I've bombarded you with a demo and showed you a lot of things, but maybe I can pass the baton back to yourselves, and we can drive the conversation from there.
So Benjamin, do you want to move on to the Q&As?
Sounds good. Let's do it.
I'm going to share my screen. So the first question, how is the cybersecurity industry like for university graduates?
Great question. Well, the first thing is that the demand for talented graduates is very high. In other words, if you can actually demonstrate that you have practical skills, that you have artifacts that enable you to demonstrate this to a recruitment agency or an employer, chances are you'll get a high-paying job very early on in your career. The bad news for graduates is that if you haven't put in the extra time to develop your portfolio, to actually develop practical skills, then chances are you won't get into the industry. And the sad story that I like to tell is, I actually started my company when I was 20 years old, and I was still at university, and I could do this because I had skills. And the market was such a niche at the time that, I could get high-paying opportunities, right? However, all of the students that were in my year at the time that graduated alongside me have actually never seen a single one of them at a security conference. And I'm not connected with them on LinkedIn, which means that, there would have been 60 of us, and I'm actually the only one, as far as I can tell, who actually made it into the industry. Now, this was 10 years ago. I think things have changed a lot, but the thing I want you to understand is, as a graduate, you really have to take your career into your own hands, and you have to drive your own destiny. It's up to you to put in the hard hours that it will take to go after these high-paying jobs and to go after this very high-fulfilling career as well.
So I'm going to move on to the next question. How to effectively use the MCSI internship platform?
Well, the most important thing is discipline. You see, we're giving you a tool that's going to give you access to practical exercises that are the kind of things that we do in the field. You now actually need to put in the work. You need to dedicate time every single day to doing exercises. And every time you submit an exercise, even if you don't get it right the first time, we will invest in you by giving you personalized feedback to succeed. But, we've now given the remote internship program for free to over 2,000 people worldwide. And only a very few portion of them actually make the most of this opportunity. I think many people believe that, if they just cruise along and watch some videos and read some slides, that's going to be sufficient. All these individuals are up to have, I think, a big waking call when they're going to start applying for jobs. And so if you want to make the most out of this platform, put in the hard work, put in the hours, and actually be disciplined about how you go about it.
Mm-hmm. So what are some of technical skills needed for the VCD platform?
So we have a number of categories, and some of them, like governance, risk, and compliance, only requires you to have some good research skills and some good writing skills. Then we have the level above that, where now you start needing technical skills, where you need to set up a lab, you need to maybe know how to use some online tools to do some work. Let's say in open source intelligence, for example, you need to know how to use particular search engines. That is still not too hard. But the level above that, you really need programming skills. IT is an industry that's based on software. Software is about programming. And so you need to become a programmer. Now, you don't need to be the most proficient programmer out there, but you at least need to know some scripting. And so some good programming languages that I recommend to get started would be Python. And another one that's really good because it's easy is PHP. Now, it doesn't mean that you'll use these languages for everything you do in your career, but if you master these two, that will give you the platform to learn the others. Just to give you an idea, I can write code in almost any programming language. And it's not that I know them all, but I've done so many hours of programming that you start seeing patterns. You start discovering that the computer science theory behind one programming language is similar for another one, and for another one, and for another one. And so once you master one or two, then you can actually code in almost anything.
So how is MCSI learning platform different from other learning sources?
Well, the first thing is that we are 100% practical. The second thing is that as you develop skills and complete exercises, you build a portfolio of work, of demonstrated skills that allows you to actually show that to recruitment agencies and employers. And thirdly, one of the things that I want to say is we are also the cheapest. And that may sound weird, but when I look at our quasi-competitors in the market, I see that some of them are basically charging a small fortune for you to sit a boot camp that doesn't even cover what we teach in the free version. And so, be very aware of scams. It may, be very attractive to think that, if you watch 8 hours worth of videos, you'll know how to do something. The reality is that, there's a very big gap between hearing something, watching it, and actually doing it in the field for real. And you want to become the person who can do it for real.
That's true. And then the fifth question, how will students and companies benefit from MCSI and the VCT platform?
Perfect. So we have an enterprise version of our training platform that has features specific to meet the needs of, let's say, Fortune 500 companies, right? VCT is also a platform that's being used by medium and small size companies to get access to freelancers that are probably cheaper than hiring a local consulting firm. But when it comes to students, what it means for you is that as you will develop skills, we will connect you with opportunities. And I think that's what you want. You want to be able to hunt down your own opportunities as well as have a platform that brings opportunities to you. And you want to join a freelancing platform where, you can create a second or third source of income so that, when you find yourself in a bit of a pickle, there's a bit of a backup plan for you.
So, how many students are enrolled in the VCT platform right now?
Let me check. Over 5,000. We are, as of right now, 5,446 students, and we have reviewed 2,006 submissions.
That's good. So, any other questions from the audience?
Give me some tough questions, people.
Okay, so I will ask. Can you hear me okay?
I can.
Okay. So I come from a different perspective. We have, just to give you a bit of a background, I represent the School of Computer Science at the University of Windsor. We have approximately 1,200 students core students in the computer science program, which are spread through a number of undergraduate specializations, which include network and security specialization. And we have a master's, one in Masters of Applied Computing, and another one is a master's research-based, thesis-based, and a PhD program.
Mm-hmm.
So, as you know, with universities, there are curriculums we follow, just very strictly programs and the works. So I wonder if I can surely see the benefits for the community and for the voices so that they will be able to go and do independent training, become freelancers, which basically a lot of our students are feeders into the voices and into those initiatives. Question is, what relationships you have with universities or higher educational institutions that you could that you have done work for or supported, and what's the nature of that work, so that I can better understand what future relations we can have with your institute.
Great question. Well, thank you so much for asking this. I think my answer has two parts to it. The first part is that we operate in Australia, and the Australian university landscape, to my understanding, is very different than the United States or Canada. And in Australia, we are seen more as a threat to universities rather than somebody that they want to partner with. So we've not been terribly successful at actually going, in our own neck of the wood here and striking partnerships, because I think they see what we're doing as a threat to what they are attempting to do. But we've been somewhat successful overseas. So today we are working on a number of alliances with firms universities in California, Texas. We're in discussions with a university in France and in the UK. And the partnership kind of looks like this. We don't believe that we are the end all and be all, but we think that we complement and augment what a university offers. And so the discussions we're having involve them taking their curriculum, which is nationally recognized, and using our exercises mapped to that. So as a student is going through the curriculum, you could say, well, we've talked about the theory here, you have your workshop next week, but go out and do these 5 exercises as well, because you'll be better prepared, or you're going to learn things that we haven't had a chance to cover today. That's part one. Another thing is that there's a very big push to go online and teach online. And our platform offers a scale that I think necessarily, face-to-face training doesn't necessarily convey. And so we are building online student development strategies to be able to do things like videos, have their teachers and professors actually teach some of the content and augment that with our platform as well. And then we have some really innovative universities that are just getting into cybersecurity, and they actually see us as sort of the front end to what they're doing. So they want to leverage our technology to scale, to basically get more students onboarded into their master's program, to align their curriculum with our certifications, and say to a student, if you go online, you do all these exercises, I'll recognize your hard work, and now you can get a master's from our university.
Okay, thank you. Just trying to find the unmute button. And then you mentioned the 2 models. One is a free model where you kept mentioning that it offers a lot of information, a lot of courses, a lot of services. And what else is there? Like, what other models do you have, or methods for offering the services?
Well, our model is very straightforward for a private individual. You jump on the free version, you confirm that our way of teaching is right for you, and that you enjoy it, that you get value out of it, and then you basically buy curriculums. And our cheapest curriculum starts at $10. We give a Metasploit curriculum for $10, where you can learn a lot about Metasploit. I think you get 30 exercises. And our most expensive curriculum is at $649. And so it's still very affordable for a private individual. And that now gives you, 200 exercises or 300 exercises as you complete these exercises, they map to multiple industry certifications. So our institute plus other accreditation bodies as well. And so we kind of have a scale to help people go from zero to hero with this platform.
What's a typical time frame from somebody that have little to no experience to an industry job on average, give or take?
I have no idea. The reason for that is that our model is very dependent on how much effort you put in is how much you'll get out of it. And it is self-paced. So unlike a university where you're taken through module 1 and then module
Right.
2, and if you get to the end, you have your paper, and now good luck, right? Good luck.
Right.
Go find yourself a job.
4 years program, you have to go through the pipeline.
That's right. You have to go. No, we don't have a pipeline. We say
I see.
even when you unlock the exercises, you can do them in any order you want. And so it is self-paced. It's different in that way.
I understand. Okay.
Any other questions?
I'm good on my end.
I have a question. So the certificates that you offer, for how long they're valid? I mean, the threat models and the issues are constantly developing and we can foresee everything beforehand. So for how long these certificates are valid? Is there a renewal or anything like that?
Great question. So I'm going to answer in two parts. Part number one is that once somebody buys our certification, the training content is unlocked forever. There's no renewal fees. There are no annual fees. There are no CPEs. There are no hidden fees of any kind. And so you have access to it forever. Once you get accredited, the certification itself at this stage has no expiry date. And the reason for that is that our certification requires somebody to actually do at least close to 80 or 100 practical exercises. And so once you have the skills, you can't fake it. It's not like, you knew some concepts and now the concepts have gone. Maybe the threats have changed, but the skills you would use to deal with, ransomware from 2020 is the same kind of skills that you use for 2019 or 2018. And so that's the first part to my answer. The second part is we can create 10 to 15 exercises per day. And so we rotate our exercises fairly regularly. So chances are if you buy a curriculum today and you come back in 6 months, there'll be a little bit of shuffling because some new information would have been brought to light and we'll actually have included it into the certification training.
Okay. And the exercises or the professionals who are doing the job of teaching, is it possible for, how much information is available to the people who want to enroll in the program before actual registration?
So we have a website that publishes the syllabi of our courses. And the syllabi at a high level tell you what's going to be included in terms of exercises. We don't actually share the exercises until somebody's bought because that's, kind of the core IP of it. But you can review the syllabus of a course that you're interested in. There's also a form where you can pop in some questions. If you're not sure, we'll respond back. And then you can go ahead and make a decision.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so I have a question.
Go for it.
So after you finish the MRI online internship, do you have to pay for the certificate?
No, you don't.
Okay. Thank you. Any
the only fee is the initial purchase, and that's it.
Mm-hmm. Any other questions?
I'm good at the moment.
I have a question. So if Vices Windsor will be having a partnership with you, the institute, then would we be, based on our previous discussion, would we be having a widget here so that we can enroll students?
Yes. If I've not unlocked that for you, I'll do it today.
And what would be the kind of controls that we would be having? Would we be able to see the dashboard, the progress? Or
So at the moment, we don't allow students to see the dashboards of other students because we believe that some students are more private and they don't really want to share how much they've progressed or not progressed. We have people on the Hall of Fame now that even still prefer to stay anonymous rather than put the names of who they are, right? So we want to respect that. Now, in terms of controls, we work on a trust-based basis. So once we've given you access to the widget, we're not monitoring who you're inviting. We think that, you're genuine, honest people. Go ahead and invite who you think actually deserves to be part of this remote internship, who would benefit the most from it, who can't afford it. It's $50. So, if somebody can probably pay for it, you may make a call and ask them to do that. But if you think they really need it or they're part of a community that we're both trying to help out, then give it to them for free. And you'll be able to see whether they have accepted the invitation or not. So you'll be able to see whether it's been unlocked for their account and they have it, but you can't see how much they've progressed unless they give you the URL to their portfolio, which you can request them to do so.
another part of question is, even though it's a women in cybersecurity, we are all inclusive. So would it be available for male population as well, like male students?
Yes, that's fine with us. You can do that. What I'll do is I'll unlock another widget for you where what I'll ask is that you invite the men through that widget and the women through the other widget.
Okay.
The reason for that is we're trying to keep track of
No
the different groups that we're inviting. So
because we want to be very clear once we are announcing it, because it might say as women somewhere on your platform as well, so that they know that they can enroll as well.
Yep, no problems.
Benjamin?
Yes.
So I posted a poll on our social media sites asking students who are interested. About 3/4 of our members are interested in this internship already. All we have to wait for is to post the official news.
Oh, that's awesome.
So, any other questions?
No, thank you. I'm good.
Okay, so someone.
Just a quick question. Sorry, regarding the evaluation when students submit their work, how does it get evaluated? Are there people you hire? Are there professionals behind the scenes who do the evaluations of the submissions?
Great question. So they are my team members. We have 5 instructors in our team, and they are people who actually also work in the field. So as a company, we have 3 branches of business. We also work as consultants, solving real problems in the field, and we kind of do this teaching thing for students on the side. Our core business is also training corporations. And so when you submit something, it would come to somebody in my team. They already have done the exercise. They are experts in the field. They have years of experience. And so they'll pick up your submission and review it. And in terms of marking, we have a very simple model, is that we don't mark everything by points. We just look at, have you done the specifications we wanted you to do? Have you learned what we wanted you to learn? And if yes, then you pass and you just move on. Like you go to the gym, like just go every day, train every day. And it's through repetition and persistence and dedication that you get better.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions?
Yeah, I'm good. Thank you. Appreciate your time.
No problems.
I think everybody
is good.
has no. Yeah, it's good. Yeah.
Alright, can everyone turn on their videos? I want to take a screenshot. And you're gonna smile this time.
That's the plan.
Yeah.
Look at all these beautiful faces.
Smile. Did it work?
Oh, Riva just came back.
I'm gonna take it again. Riva, come back. I think we're good.
Thank you, Kirathana.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you,
Thank
everyone.
you.
Thank you,
It was
Benjamin.
very nice meeting you, Benjamin
Thank
and
you.
Harris.
Nice meeting you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Likewise. Thank you so much for your time.
Bye,
You have a good
everyone.
day.
Bye.
Bye,
Bye-bye.
Benjamin.
Enjoy your
Bye-bye.
day.
Bye.